Okay, boa folks, just wanted to shoot a brief video of my snake room. Every good snake room has shelving for various supplies and whatnot. I've got, extra water bowls of various sizes, bedding down through here. And this little drawer right here, I've been converting all of my PVC cages from, like, I guess you would call them regular, like, basking lights or whatnot of various types to LED lights. And I've got some more in here that I'm going to be using. I've purchased some smaller LED lights, and as you can see, there's one right there. It's just not putting out enough light for my liking. So I'm gonna upgrade some of those to these bigger LED light fixtures, which I've done already with some of these. Like in here, there's one of the bigger ones right here. This is one of my Pearl Island boas. Well, she was right there this morning. I bet she's in her humid hide box over there. But basically, all my cages I set up the same way. Have a dry hide box, water bowl, perching of some sort, and a humid hide box over there. She is actually in a shed cycle, so I am 100% certain she's in there. Another one of these cages with the larger LED lights. I'll slide this guy open. And this is one of my Parsons line Guyana red-tail boas right there. Just a beautiful snake. That humid hide box in there. All of my snakes do use their perching to some degree or another. I find that my Pearl Island boas use them the most, as well as my boa constrictor longicatas. My Pearl Islands, I've got 7 of them, and they're all very secretive, reclusive animals. But my longicata, my Peruvian longtail boas, I see them perching during the day, several days a week. So I find that pretty neat. Let me lock that cage back up. Racks. Oh, the dreaded racks. My personal opinion is I don't use racks for older animals. When I mean older, I mean this rack is virtually empty. There's actually 2 different types of racks in here. I purchase all of my snakes when they're very young from reputable breeders, and I raise them myself. Now, I keep my snakes in a rack system until they're about 18 months to 2 years old. And I currently only have 4 snakes in this rack, and these are all Guyana red-tail boas. And I'll pull this out a little bit further, and you can kind of see her right there. But she'll stay in here. These guys, they're only a year old, so they'll stay in here for about another 6 months or so, and then I'll upgrade them to the appropriate sized terrarium. My opinion, this is just my opinion only, I think it's healthier for boas. Well, it's healthier for me to keep boas in terrariums that they can climb and have options. But, for ease of use, ease of maintenance, for a modest collection that I have, I do house some of my boas in racks, but only temporarily for the first year or 2. This is another Parsons line Guyana red-tail boa. So if you don't know, the Parsons line is basically like a Roswell ladder tail, but in a pure BCC form. They have connected saddles and that beautiful ladder tail. I just love these snakes. This is a young female, and then I've got 1.1 2-year-olds from Mike Eckert. This one came from Norman Birtles. Over here, we've got more Pearl Island boas. And again, water bowl, perch, dry hide box, humid hide box. Pop the lid off here real quick. Let me see if this snake is down in here. Here we go. Come on out, girl. making a bit of a mess with one hand, but this is one of my Pearl Island boas. This is she's about 2.5 years old. And these are basically like a naturally occurring, almost like a super hypo locality of boa. I absolutely love them. These came from a biologist by the name of David Muth. He's in California. He got his animals from, oh gosh, it was Bushmaster Reptiles who imported them directly from a zoo in Costa Rica called Replandia. And the owner of that zoo, Quetzal Dwyer, actually had a permit to collect his founding stock from the Pearl Islands. So these are definitely pure Pearl Island boas. I'm fortunate enough to have 2.4 of these, I guess I'll call them subadults, and 1 adult female. Now, when I said I don't use racks for older boas, I have one exception. This is an animal plastics rack that has some unusually large tubs. They're roughly 4 feet long and about 1.5 to 2 feet wide and equally as high, which has basically all the attributes of a terrarium, but in a rack form. So basically, like, these are all like Hog Island boas in here. You can see that one back there. But same kind of setup, humid hide in the very back, dry hide right there, perch, water ball. What I would like some constructive advice on is how could I add LED lighting in here? One thing I was thinking is that these tubs, there's a small gap in between the top of the tub and the lip right here. I could potentially mount the LED light somewhere in the middle over here. That's one of my Hog Island boas. These are all Hog Island boas in here. And drill a hole in the side and feed the electrical outlet. I'd probably do it on this side so I could hide the cords. But I'd love to add LED lighting in here. Just my personal preference. But if you have any feedback on how I could do that, I would love it. But these guys, you know, well, look here on the perch. You know, the Pearl Island, excuse me, I said that again. The Hog Island boas, they get to be about 5 feet long for adult males, maybe 6 feet for adult females. I don't anticipate keeping them in this rack their whole lives. I will probably wind up upgrading them to 4x2x2s or potentially 6x2x2s eventually. But, you know, for subadults or, you know, some of the smaller dwarf localities of boas, let's say some of the boa sigmas, like the tarahumaras or the Calker keys or something like that, you know, these boas only get to be like 3 or 4 feet long. I think, just my opinion, that this rack would be perfectly suitable for them for their entire lives. Plenty of space and height, importantly. And yeah, you know, the rack versus caging debate, I mean, we all have our opinions on it. I think there's a time and a place for them. And with this animal plastics rack, you get the best of both worlds. You get, you know, the ease of maintenance of having a rack system, but have large enough drawers where you can really enhance the husbandry or the keeping of the animals and provide them some enrichment with perches, multiple hide boxes, so on and so forth. You know, all of my caging, I have Vivarium Electronics thermostats on them. And I'm of the mindset that it's better to keep your boas, you know, around the 80s rather than the 90s. So, you know, on the low end, we've got temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Back through here, upper 70s, but, you know, going back towards where this snake is, we've got 82, 83, 84 back through there. So mid 80s, 84.5. Yeah, mid 80s is kind of what I'm shooting for most of my boas. Even like the Guyana boas, they tend to like it in the 80s rather than the 90s. I just think that's a better suitable thing for them. But anyway, that was a brief tour. Let me know what you think. Thanks.